Letters that are just there for no reason. Listen to how I pronounce these words. Bought, though, thorough, tough, drought, through, and cough. Weird, right? And for many of you, silent letters are another nightmare of English pronunciation, and because of this, that's what we're focusing on today. This lesson is about letters we write in words, but don't actually pronounce. Take a look at this word and think, which letter isn't pronounced? We don't say the P, it's empty. There's this hilarious meme about this actually. Let's check it out. Here, we read this word as empty, not pronouncing the P. This still reads empty. This is still empty. Here, we just say the letters M and T. Empty. Here, there's nothing. It's empty. We don't pronounce B, K, L, or W. For example, the silent B when it's after M, like in climb. The unnecessary K before N, like in no. The L, which we don't pronounce when it's before K and M in some words. Don't worry, we'll see these examples in just a moment. And one that often confuses learners, W, when it's before an R, like in wrong. Now, the reason why we don't pronounce these letters in these words is because it is extremely awkward to do so. And by that I mean it takes extra effort to pronounce these letters. So that's why we don't say crumb, we simply say crumb. Other words with a silent B are bomb, comb, crumb, dumb, lamb, limb, numb, thumb, tomb. If you're actually trying to pronounce the B in these words, you're not alone. Many upper intermediate learners still do this. Now, here are some words when we don't pronounce the K. Knee, knife, night, knit, knob, knock, not, no, and knuckle. What about the silent N now? Well, we don't pronounce it in chalk, talk, walk, calm, and palm. Other cases of a silent L are could, should, would, calf, and half. And the other pattern I mentioned is that of words where W is before an R. For example, wrap, wrench, wrestle, wrinkle, wrist, right, wrong, wrath, wreck. Now that you know these rules, you might probably feel like my friend who told me that he knew about the silent K in these words, but he always pronounced, or at least tried to pronounce, the B in words like thumb or dumb, and the W in words like right or wrong. So you see how minor adjustments like these can have a huge impact on your confidence speaking English. A lot of people recommend that you first learn how to say a word and then how to spell it. The reason for this is because when you learn the spelling first, it tends to make you think that you need to pronounce every single letter. But if you first learn how to say it, you obviously won't pronounce a letter that you don't know is there in the spelling. Which leads on to my hot tip. Trust your ear and not your eyes. And you'll be able to do a lot of that with our Real Life Native Immersion course. In this 41-week course, you're going to be able to practice identifying silent letters in words. It's the next best thing to living in an English-speaking country. You know what? The best thing is you can try it for free today with our 3-part Power Learning series. To try it out, you can click up here, or if you're on your mobile, there is a link in the description below. Let's continue on. To illustrate this, here's a new word that you might not be familiar with. Kernel. Easy, right? Say it after me. Kernel. Now, it's said like kernel and spelt like this. C-O-L-O-N-E-L. Kernel. Let's now look at 3 more common words with a silent B. Debt, doubt, and subtle. Now that you know that we don't pronounce the B in these words, try reading this sentence out loud. Listen to me. I never doubted you. As you see, the silent letter remains when you modify the base word by adding suffixes. Doubted, doubtful. With that in mind, this one could be a bit trickier. How do you say this? Yeah, that's right. I am deeply indebted to him for his help. Now, if you know that the B is silent in subtle, how do you say this word in this sentence? You got it. Some of the subtleties of the language are lost in translation. Now, if you want to learn why the T in can't in American English is sometimes not pronounced, then you need to check out this amazing lesson that Ethan made. To watch it next, I'll link it up here or down in the description below. Now, let's move on to another silent letter. How do you say this? It's not handsome, it's handsome. Take a moment to pronounce the following words that also have a silent D. Did you say badge, edge, Wednesday, and sandwich? Now, repeat these sentences after me. On Wednesday, my handsome husband and I had a sandwich at a Subway restaurant. The soldier was awarded a badge of honor. The edge of the table. Let's move on to the letter G, and we don't pronounce this letter in words like campaign, assign, design, sign, reign. Say it after me. Campaign, assign, design, sign, reign. He was assigned the design of an ad campaign. Another word that has a silent G is one that I've seen many learners trip up with. This word is pronounced foreign. Now, we do pronounce the G in kingdom, but in rapid speech it often gets dropped. So you'll hear, she reigns in a foreign kingdom. H is a big one, and there are a lot of words with silent H letters. Ache, anchor, architect, chaos, charisma, choir, chord, echo, honest, school, stomach. Here are some examples. John's a charismatic and honest architect. By the way, the H in John is silent as well. John's vocal cords hurt, so he can't sing in the choir. Now, let's take a look at a few words with a silent T. Butcher, castle, listen, mortgage, soften, witch. There's also the words Christmas and match, which I often see my students trying to pronounce the T. Another one is often. However, you can also pronounce the T and say often. Both options are used almost equally. Now, we already talked about the W when it's in its initial position and before an R, but it can also be a tricky one in words like answer, to, and sword. Okay, let's test your knowledge. Here's what we're going to do. First, I'll say a few words and you'll repeat after me. Right, and now you repeat. Chalk, say it. Answer, you say that again. After that, I'm going to show you a sentence, just like this one. We'll give you about 3 or 4 seconds to read and practice saying the words in the sentence. And after that, I'll give you the pronunciation of the sentence. For example, she wrote the answer with chalk on the board so that you can check and see if you pronounced it correctly. Ready? Let's go. Number 1. Walk, castle, wrinkle, witch, echo, The castle where the wrinkled witch lives is an echoey place. How did you go? Sentence 2. Debt, foreign, architect. The foreign architect is in a lot of debt. Sentence number 3. Handsome, knight, sword. The famous handsome knight died from a sword wound. Sentence number 4. Wrestle, match, Wednesday. He has a wrestling match on Wednesday.